Yo, what is up guys, EagleEyes Jr. here, and in today's video, I'll be answering the question, is Dungeon Quest dying, along with taking a trip down memory lane, because this game is very nostalgic for a lot of us. If you're watching this video, there's a very high chance you've at least played Dungeon Quest once, because this game has been around since 2018, but compared to other Roblox games, this game isn't really that old. In case you might be part of that 1% of people that may have never played this game, it's essentially a dungeon grind game with loot drops and super rare items you can drop in the dungeons, which is what keeps people playing, because it's a grind. This explains how the game has been able to survive with barely any updates, but I'll talk more about that later. Let's revisit Dungeon Quest's history really fast in early 2019, which was when Dungeon Quest was at its height. A bunch of YouTubers were having a come up during that period playing Dungeon Quest, so perfect examples include Rectway, Tanker, Kelvin TS, and there are many more, but these were the biggest ones that are still prospering on YouTube today. They just moved on to other games. Even Dennis Daly and Flamingo made a Dungeon Quest video during its hype because it was at one point the most popular game on Roblox with over 20,000 concurrent players.
I present to you Dungeon Quest. It is the current hubbub in Roblox, and when I say hubbub, I mean it is #1 on the games page right now, with 24,854 players playing. Oh!
It definitely wasn't the first of its kind, but it most definitely paved the way for future dungeon games to be created. I started playing this game back in 2019 when Canals had just released, and I was so addicted to the game that I grinded from level 0 all the way to level 100 in 2 weeks. You guys might think that's easy now, and it's truly a lot easier now, but back then it took a lot longer. I would grind like 10 hours a day. I had so much fun playing it. Ever since then, I've taken many breaks from the game. I remember after the boss raids update, when I got to tier 7 and got the best gear, I just quit the game and didn't come back until Orbital Outpost came out. I didn't exactly get the best gear from Orbital Outpost before quitting again and not coming back until Aquatic Temple. After that, I got the best stuff in Aquatic Temple and then I quit again, and then came back a few days after the Enchanted Forest update, so I've definitely quit a few times in my Dungeon Quest career. And since the Enchanted Forest update, I haven't really quit the game since, because of the blow up on my channel recently thanks to you guys watching my Dungeon Quest content, and I can't thank you guys enough. When I quit after the boss raid update, that was when the game really dropped in player count and lots of YouTubers moved on from the game, because it was the most boring update to ever plague Dungeon Quest. This is my opinion, but clearly a lot of people had the same opinion. You would literally just keep going into the same boss raid room over and over again, and initially you only had a 33% chance to even drop something from the dungeon. Clearly VCafe used this tactic to keep people playing for longer to get the best items, but it frustrated so many players because they worked so hard to kill the boss and then got nothing in return. Something no one was used to because you would always get a reward from the regular dungeons. I focused on this point so much because it's what really started the big downfall of Dungeon Quest. Since then, Dungeon Quest has seen this continuous pattern of player counts dropping more and more after an update has been around for a while. As of recording this video, the game currently just dropped to less than 3,000 concurrent players on a Saturday afternoon, which is absolutely horrible because that's when the most amount of people are on Roblox. Imagine how low this player count gets while people are at school or when people are sleeping. It's a really sad sight to see, man. There's no doubt Enchanted Forest has been one of the coolest dungeon updates VCafe has came out with, but now that it's been almost 4 months since the update, people have lost interest. People have either gave up because the dungeon was too hard for them, or they already got the best gear and just won't play the game again until the next dungeon comes out, and who knows how long that's going to be. Something else that has really plagued this game's player count recently is the fact that double EXP for dungeons was available for almost an entire month, giving more people an incentive to grind to take advantage of the double EXP. But VCafe made a mistake keeping the double EXP boost for so long, because now that it's over, a ton of people have given up grinding. Speaking about updates, there's been a ton of speculation that there's going to be another Halloween update coming this year. So many YouTubers have made a video about this possible update, such as Assumption, Jules Just Gaming, ZGod, Aspect Jacob, Icy Donut, and even Kira Berry came back to YouTube to talk about this update. They talk about how the community gets to vote on what they want for the update, but at the end of the day, let's be real guys, VCafe is very busy with other things like the game Arena Champions, which he plans to release soon, and he just doesn't have that much time for Dungeon Quest anymore, and he doesn't have very many developers on the team, which explains why we have to wait so long for each update. So it's awesome that we will be getting a Halloween update, but I doubt he will be able to get everything done that people want. This update has been very overhyped, and I just hope that people aren't disappointed if the update ends up mostly being recycled content from old Halloween updates with a few different things added. But I can understand the hype since updates are hard to come by nowadays in Dungeon Quest, and I'm not trying to slander VCafe in any way. I would prefer quality over quantity any day. But it's just the main reason as to why the Dungeon Quest player count has been falling slowly over time and might continue to do so. So after discussing all this, I now come to the answer of the question, is Dungeon Quest dying? Unfortunately, yes, it is dying, but that doesn't mean it will die out completely. Unfortunately though, this is the case for many Roblox games out there. There's just so many different Roblox games that are getting updated constantly over and over again, like Pets MX and Bed Wars, that have really good developer teams working really hard on it 24/7. And games like Dungeon Quest just struggle to compete because there's not enough people on the developer team with vCafe working on the game. And there was actually a bug on Dungeon Quest not too long ago. It lasted for like a week, I think. It was basically this thing where textures weren't loading correctly on the game or something, and whenever I would load into a game, it would show like part of my back is like no skin. Like I don't know exactly how to explain it, but here's a picture right here. It was a little concerning, but vCafe patched it, thank goodness. Something I didn't mention about Dungeon Quest is that even though the game has a low player count compared to its prime time, it has a very strong community and a loyal one, which explains why my videos are doing so well despite the game being as old as it is. The community of Dungeon Quest is a very strong one, and it's a very awesome thing to think about. As long as Dungeon Quest's community stays strong, it will always have the opportunity to bounce back, but I think it's safe to say that Dungeon Quest will never be the same as it was in the past. But one thing I'm really glad about is that Dungeon Quest hasn't changed much since its release, and that's what keeps a lot of us older players around, for the good vibes and nostalgia this game gives off. At the end of the day, Dungeon Quest will always hold a special place in my heart, even if I stop playing it one day or it completely goes away, which I hope never happens. Let me know what you guys thought of this video and comment down below if you still play Dungeon Quest. As always, I wish you guys good luck on your Dungeon Quest journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.